welcome to the Oldish TV. We've just finished an election here in Canada, and I don't know about you, but I am finding that the run-up to the election here, much like the run-up to the 2020 election in the US and the Brexit talks over in Europe, seem to have become more filled with hate, negativity, crosstalk that really doesn't address the issues that are on the table. However, I did see a post yesterday that resonated with me and I wanted to share it with you. And it really doesn't have anything to do with politics. My name is Karen Brown. I'm the publisher and editor of The Oldish, and as always, it is my pleasure to welcome you here to our weekly Oldish TV show. Now, as I indicated, Canada's election has concluded. The previous Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, was re-elected for another 4-year term, albeit with a minority government. Didn't make everybody happy, but what election does? But I did find that, the debates and the social media posts and the memes that led up to this particular election were nastier, more personal, and more cruel than I have ever seen them. That doesn't reflect the Canada that I know. Maybe it's a sign of things to come. I'm not sure. I didn't enjoy it, not one bit. We get a lot of US news up here, of course. We also get a lot of European news. I suppose more if you go and look for it, which I do. It's very different from the North American news, so I like to keep an eye on that. And I am really finding that all of the chatter, not always from political circles, but they're not excluded from this, the chatter is just nasty. It's personal. People say things that are untrue, and they're proven to be untrue, but they're allowed to keep on saying them. And I don't know why. I do not know why people feel the necessity to win by being nasty. However, with that said, I did see a post the other day that made me smile, and I wanted to share it with you. Primarily because here on The Oldish, we talk a great deal about self-advocacy. What I want you and everybody to do is advocate for yourself, to craft the life that suits you so that your aging process is as successful as it can possibly be and includes all of the elements that make you happy, that keep you grounded, and that keep you content. Happiness is sometimes a bit elusive, but if we can be content, that's so meaningful. Part of the business of advocating for yourself is making sure that you extend that window of opportunity, because once that window closes, other people start making decisions for you. They may not be the decisions that you want for yourself. So self-advocacy is very important. When we look at what happens in politics, this may be just my feeling, but I suspect not. Whether it is at the municipal level, the provincial level, or the federal level, in the states, of course, it would be municipal, state, and federal, I feel like my voice isn't really heard. No matter who wins, my life doesn't change substantially. No matter who wins, the party that held power before, even if it was different, may have made some major changes to the way things happen. In Ontario, the major changes are in healthcare. But even if the provincial party loses the next election and another party comes into power, I don't feel like they're going to really change what this current provincial government is doing. They might tweak it, they might give some things some different names, but they're not going to change anything significantly. It is very difficult to turn a big ship. So it just doesn't happen. Now, as a citizen, whether it's municipal, provincial, or federal, I get surveyed. I'm asked to fill out surveys online or in person or invited on Facebook to go and fill out these surveys. Uh, I get phone calls from organizations like Ipsos Reid wanting to see where I stand. Does it matter? I don't really think it does. I think that political governments survey so that they can say they have. But in the end, they've got their own agenda and they're going to do what they do regardless. So the only real control I feel I have is over my own life. Do you agree with me? Do you feel like what's happening all around you is pretty much out of your control? Like other people are steering the ship and they don't care what you want or what you need? They talk about things being for the greater good, but I think we can all agree that we can control what happens in our own lives to an extent, not completely, but there are a lot of decisions that people can make that they don't. Here at the Oldish, we advocate for you making as many of those decisions as you possibly can. It's important for your life. It's important to be in control. It's important to follow your own path. And this is where this post resonated with me. So let me show it to you. It was written by a good friend of mine who is a chef. His name is James Eddington, and he's very ethereal in the way he thinks about many things. He's very involved in the local region where he lives, and he has started to do foodie tours in Europe. I've done one of them with him. I'm doing another one next year. They're small group tours that explore food and wine in various European locales. I think he's doing one in Costa Rica as well. So, I mean, it's all really interesting, but when you travel, your mind expands as well. And I think I see his mind expanding, but also bringing it back to what's local. So let me show this to you. This was his post from yesterday. Now, the post started with this quote from Benjamin Franklin that you see: either write something worth reading or do something worth writing. I enjoy that. So I believe here in this post, James has written something that is very worth reading. Haven't asked his permission to do this, but I'm sure he wouldn't mind because, as you can see in his post, he has shared it publicly. I'm going to read it for those of you who can't read small print. Another election has come to a close, a tipping point for me with social media. So many different opinions. I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. I encourage you, if you want change, be the change. If you want a better environment, do what you can do. Implement composting at home, clean your neighborhood park, beach, etc. If you want a better community, volunteer, be productive. Join a community group that shares your beliefs. If you want a better local economy, shop local. Dedicate yourself to your community, etc., etc., etc. You get the point. You are the CEO of your own destiny. Show gratitude, for you have these opportunities. Go out and make the change you desire. Isn't that something? Make the change you desire. I love how he said all of that. I love his point about shopping local. Now, I've told you many times here, I live in a small town. We have a population in this town of about 5,000 people. So it's small, it's rural. Yes, I can shop by internet, and I do a lot. But I'm always surprised at how much I can access locally. I enjoy supporting the local grocery stores in the summertime, the local fresh vegetable vendors. And in fact, at the restaurant that James owns and runs, he had a market garden 3 days a week there in partnership with a vegetable grower, but he also grows things on his own farm, not only for his restaurant, but to share with the public. So, he is really exemplifying be the change that you want to see. Support local. I think we can all do that, regardless of what's happening around us with various governments in various elections, things that we really don't have much control over. This post reminds me that we do have control over our own lives. We can initiate change within our own lives and be the change that we want. We can share those changes with our friends, our family, and other people, and if they agree, they can join us. If they don't agree, that's okay too. That really is okay. I like what he said about composting, and that leads me to food. And you know, we've talked a great deal about a healthy diet here. A healthy diet, exercise that is appropriate, whether it's walking or Tai Chi, monitoring your blood pressure, not being socially isolated. These are all things that improve the life that you can live. But you have to advocate for yourself and be the change that you want to see in your own life. If you want to follow Chef James on Instagram or Facebook, I would certainly invite you to do so. He is really very interesting with the posts that he puts out there of his travels and of the food that he creates, using local ingredients, using fresh local ingredients. It's really lovely. But I would also encourage you to follow those people in your own local region that are living similar lives and doing similar things that can be positive influences on your life. So as we move forward in this day and over this next week until we meet again, be positive, be happy, be content, be the change that you need in your life, and as often as you possibly can, advocate for yourself. As always, I will leave you with the fact that it does take a village to age a senior, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Take care, everyone.